Right, so in today's video, I thought I'd be a dumbass and attempt to platinum The Last of Us Part 2 in under 24 hours. I've done this challenge on a couple other games, and it is usually what I like to do when I see a game that is estimated just over that 24-hour mark. So as always, if you do enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe if you are new, as it really does help the channel grow, as well as drop in a comment of what you think I should platinum next. As always, any links or guides that I use to help obtain this platinum will be linked below. Let's get into this. The game kicks off with Ellie and Joel having a bonding moment together in this new town that they are living in. And then skipping 4 years later, Ellie waking up on her own and she has grown up. This part of the game is a quick introduction to the new characters before we are dragged onto a patrol mission with Dina. This is going to be an awkward date where they both have a crush on each other, but neither of them will admit it. Meanwhile, cut to this new character who is a massive part of the game. She is called Abby. I'm going to be honest, I disliked almost every single moment that I had with her, but she gets sight of Jackson, which is the town Ellie and Joel are in, so clearly she is on the hunt for them. Jumping back with Ellie and Dina, I managed to get my first trophy of the game, which was for getting my first player upgrade. In before this massive blizzard comes in and I have to take refuge in a library. Very shortly after this, I got another trophy for getting my first upgrade on a weapon. Now with Ellie and Dina, we end up stumbling into this underground weed farm, and obviously this was going to get saucy, and that it did. They had a little makeout session. I wonder what's going to happen now. While they were doing all of that, Abby was getting her ass absolutely handed to her by some infected, but luckily for her, Joel ends up saving her life like the nice guy that he is. However, Joel saving Abby might have been the single worst thing he had ever done. Abby knows exactly who Joel is and brings Tommy and Joel back to her group, where she, well, kind of just beats the brakes off Joel. Ellie arriving at the scene to witness the state in which Joel is in, and if I'm honest, I was gonna make a big deal of this scene, but Abby literally beats Joel to death and makes Ellie watch that. It's ridiculous. This is honestly where I thought the story was going to ramp up tenfold and become this like most insane revenge plot I've ever witnessed, but I guess you're gonna see what happens and what pans out with it. Back in Jackson with Tommy, Ellie wants nothing but revenge, and I can't blame her. Abby literally beat him to death with a golf club, so that means setting a journey towards Seattle. Day one of Seattle's journey with Ellie and Dina, they are both gaining more knowledge on who these WLF soldiers are, which is the group that Abby is a part of, as well as Ellie collecting some trading cards along her journey. While exploring this downtown area, I found this random engraved ring and got a random ass trophy for it. I have no idea why. This was then shortly followed by visiting all of the areas within this downtown section. Carrying along with the story path to hopefully find Abby, we catch up with some of the guys that Tommy had gotten to first. This meaning we are on the right track and hopefully not too far behind. The gameplay was honestly quite similar to the first one, with going from area to area and then something bad happening in each area that I need to get out of. In this case, it was those wolf soldiers that caught Ellie and tied her up, but obviously with the insane plot armor that she's got, I managed to get out of that situation. After fighting my way through a whole bunch of wolves, aka the clan that Abby is a part of, I get another player upgrades trophy, and then it was back to more killing and shooting, so I figured it was time to fully upgrade one of my weapons. Still on this hunt, Ellie and Dina were catching up to signs of Tommy, who we are still yet to see, but clearly he is alive due to all of the dead bodies that he's leaving behind. I ended up finding myself in this subway where we got introduced to the new kinds of infected that were a little bit different from the last game. They were mainly just sort of tanks, but hey, I guess it's a minor improvement from the previous game. Escaping all of that, we get to safety in this theater where Dina lets us know that she is pregnant. Crazy plot twist, I know, but I hope Ellie isn't the dad. This theater here is pretty much going to be our home base for the rest of the game, since Dina is basically a paperweight now. But jumping into a flashback scene with Ellie and Joel, it was Ellie's birthday here, and Joel treated her by showing her a museum. During this flashback, I got a trophy for putting a hat on Joel. After that trophy, literally the next couple hours of gameplay was just fighting, shooting, looting, as I was making my way deeper into the city with the main goal of reaching this hospital. I did make it to the hospital, which was the same one which Ellie nearly died in during the previous game, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But I was more lucky this time, as I found this girl called Nora who gave up some information on where Abby could be. It only took a little bit of torturing, of course. On my way to the aquarium, which is where Nora told us Abby might be, I went through this cool section with a boat. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite fun using a boat to travel through this flooded city. While doing some exploring, I found my 12th workbench of the game. Why I got a trophy for the 12th one, I'll never know. But then arriving at the aquarium, it is time to tackle the main mission at hand, which is hunt down that dumbass Abby. Obviously, I didn't find Abby here though, but I did find these two who were part of the killing of Joel. So with a little fight, I killed them, and it was actually a triple kill since the woman was pregnant. Then by an amazing surprise, all of our friends decide to show up. What cracking timing. Speaking of great timing, as soon as I made it back, Abby then finds us at this theater and caps Jesse right in the face, and just as she was about to shoot Tommy, the game takes us to a flashback, but not of Ellie, it was of Abby this time. Now we're about to play the best part of the game. No, I'm kidding. In all honesty, I hated this part of the game. The whole of Abby's story just wasn't for me, and it made the game drag so much. It even made me not want to continue with the story. It was just boring. Her story basically showed the few days that were leading up to where she was with Ellie at gunpoint, and if I'm completely honest, I don't even want to cover over that complete garbage story. You can search that one up for yourself. But I did get a few trophies along the way, such as finding 5 coins, beating Manny in a marksman competition, another for learning 25 player upgrades, which was followed by finding this weird relic, which probably has some form of lore that I'm too lazy to figure out, but I'm sure somebody will let me know. Then there was this archery minigame sort of thing, which obviously upon completing that, I got another trophy. I then found my last training manual, so I now had access to all of the player upgrades. Abby got absolutely railed on a boat.
What did he say?
Then, instead of opening her legs, she opened this safe, and I got a trophy for it. And that was all of the trophies that I got during the Abby section, which was spanned over around 5 hours worth of boring story and forced into playing a character that I didn't even like. Then the game forces us into another fight against Ellie. And this time we were playing as Abby, so it was complete ass, as obviously I wasn't going to kill Ellie. So I did let Abby die a few times to make sure I got the true ending of this ass story. The fight ended with Abby having a knife to Dina's throat, and the scene ending because this monk-looking kid said no, which was fair enough, I guess. Don't argue with the kid. Abby and the kid walk away from this fight, and now I really thought this was going to be the end of the game, as it looked like the story was wrapping up, as Dina had the baby and they were all living together in this farmhouse. However, Tommy shows up out the blue and has a plan for Ellie to take out Abby again. So naturally, we've got to go for that. Ellie is now on the hunt for Abby for the second time. Hopefully we get the job done this time and don't back out like the wet wipe she was before. While making my way through Santa Barbara here, I find this guy and he has some information on Abby, as she is now a slave for this new faction. Killing him results in me getting my final weapon of the game, and I get a trophy for that. And I know what you're thinking. Where are all of the other trophies for the collectibles? Well, my dumbass honestly missed a few, so I'm gonna have to go get that in the cleanup later on, so bear with me. Anyways, I find a group of prisoners, and by letting them free, they give me some information that Abby might be down the beach, but she might potentially be dead. I do find her, and she is alive, and we end up having one last fight, and it was overall quite disappointing. Neither of us died. It felt like I wasted the last 2 hours in Santa Barbara for nothing. The whole point of this was to get to this fight and one person die, and the whole Ellie becoming a better person by letting her live is just some bullshit excuse, to be honest. I wanted one of them to die, and if Ellie died, I think the fans would have cried, and if Abby died, I don't think anyone would have been that mad. I think the game should have given us a choice. But as that is the end of the story, I'm gonna leave my raw thoughts for you to listen to now, as I was pretty defeated by the end of this. That right there is it. That is the end of The Last of Us Part 2. Well, the story at least. I've got a few cleanup trophies to go get. That story was pretty good. I have to admit, I wasn't that much of a fan of Abby's story. She was cool. I get that she sort of went better by helping Lev, which is cool. There was some character development there, but I think the way that they had her kill Joel, I hated her right from the beginning, and obviously playing as a character that you already hate, it just wasn't the most enjoyable thing in the world. It's like, why am I playing as this character when all I want to do is kill her? I just spent, you know, like nearly 15 hours in the previous game building that attachment with Joel, and then right off the rip, he dies. Do you know what I mean? So it was decent. It wasn't as good as the first one at all. I don't like the fact that Ellie let her walk. I kind of wish the game gave you an option, but I guess if there's going to be a part 3, she might be involved. But again, I don't really know where a part 3 could go. I think they're done with this. I can't see them making another game. Ellie's story's pretty much done and dusted. And I'll be honest, if they make a game with Abby and Lev, then I'm probably not going to be that interested. I don't think many people will be. Game was good. I've got a few cleanup trophies to get. I did miss some collectibles, which were quite annoying. I have made note of the ones that I've missed, so that shouldn't be too difficult to go through. I made a manual save, so I'm going to backwards and forth through that. I think I've got to play halfway through again to get all of the remaining stuff, which could be quite long. And I'm trying to get this game done in under 24 hours of playtime. Oh my god, what I had to do. Complete the story. Let's go. There's that trophy. Now it's time for that cleanup, baby. Let's go. First on the cleanup list was to finish off the trading cards. Then this was shortly followed by finding all of the workbenches. And then I had to switch over to Abby again to collect all of her coins. Now finally getting the last collectible, which was an amazing trophy to get since there are over 250 collectibles in this game. During my New Game Plus playthrough, I managed to craft every single item. Then I did my final weapon upgrade, which was my penultimate trophy, so I'm going to let my raw reaction play out to the platinum. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like, comment and subscribe while sticking around to see if I got this game done in under 24 hours. It was so close. So close. That is a lot of supplements. Oh my god, this is it. Ready? Boom, survival expert, learn all player upgrades, and I think that is it for the platinum trophy. Let's go, every last one of them. Collect all trophies. That was The Last of Us Part 2 platinum trophy done. Now, thoughts and opinions on this? I'll be honest, compared to the first game, wasn't that great. I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably should have. I just didn't really care for Abby's story. I think I said it in my story reaction as well. But just wasn't for me. I get that they tried to make her look soft or whatever. Right, let's have a quick look. Let me just sidetrack here. 4 hours, 23 minutes. Let's say a minute. 4 hours. Let's say 4 hours 30. 4 hours 45-ish. Another, let's say 5 hours. And then the complete save, which is, we've got this one. And then I suppose it's the biggest one. 5 hours. Yeah, no way. Because that puts us at, quick maths here. Wait, no. 16 hours plus another 5 hours. We're at 21 hours. So I think gameplay wise, we might have done the challenge. I know on my profile it probably says like 25 hours. I'm not gonna lie, I did pause the game a few times where I was on my phone or something like that, or you know, stuff around the house like the washing machine. I probably left the game on. But 16 hours and 48 plus the 4.5 hour. I got well far in the game for 4.5 hours. I was speedrunning that. Yeah, that's not too bad. So I think I did playtime wise do it in under 24 hours, but then on my profile it probably says more than that. So take that with what you will. Have I done the challenge? I guess that's for you to decide in the comments. I would like to say that I've done it, given the playtime and everything. It says 23 hours here. I don't think I can do much about that. Profile, games. It says 25 hours. So there's a big difference. Damn, did I really spend that long like on my phone? But nonetheless, the game was decent. I didn't really care for Abby that much. She was okay. I just didn't really like her story. And then at the end, I didn't even get the chance to kill her. I think it was the fact that you went into playing her pretty much hating her because she had killed Joel. Like, how are you going to like a character that has just killed the main character of the previous game that we all know and love? So going on to that, it's like, well, I don't really want to play as this character now because I've already got a bad impression of them. I don't know, maybe if we started the game as Abby and then went through her story and then somewhere in the middle she killed Joel. I don't really know, but the game was decent. I ain't got much more positive to say about it really, and I'm not really one to shit talk the games. The gameplay and everything was such an improvement. the little extras that I had, like the infinite ammo and whatnot in my new game plus, that sped things up massively. So yeah, overall the game is pretty decent. I like the variety of weapons. That was cool. The combat was decent, but I have no idea where they go for part 3, if they ever do a part 3. I enjoyed this platinum. I did enjoy the platinum, but it wasn't the most amazing thing in the world. A little bit worse than The Last of Us Part 1. But I'm glad I got it done, and I will see you in the next platinum, whatever that will be. I know we got some Assassin's Creed games coming up. Look forward to those. But yeah, I might try and find an underrated platinum for your faces. So yeah, let's get it.